which would serve as a citizens' board for surveillance of government. To improve monetary policy operations and their effectiveness, we recommend enhancing coordination between the Ministry of Finance and the Bank of Ghana to ensure fiscal and monetary policy alignment. And Mr. Minister, we particularly call for ensuring daily coordination of monetary and fiscal policy. The recent decline in T-bill rates, although a development that has brought you much joy and happiness, has caused ripples in monetary policy circles. So we advise that you strengthen and enhance coordination with the monetary authorities. To improve the operation of foreign exchange markets to contribute to exchange rate stability, we urge the central bank to work with key stakeholders to integrate fintech liquidity and transactions into overall banking system liquidity. Further, to improve foreign exchange markets, we call for strengthening the regulation of foreign exchange bureaus and the elimination of illegal foreign exchange markets. We also request the government to review the foreign exchange retention regime in various sectors, including the mineral sector, to support exchange rate stability. On strengthening the banking system and financial intermediation, we call for the recapitalization of the Bank of Ghana to empower and strengthen the central bank to conduct its monetary policy and financial stability functions. We also call on the central bank to conduct a feasibility study and to develop a regulatory framework for non-interest banking. To strengthen financial stability, on top of measures already undertaken by the central bank, we call on the fiscal authorities to prioritize improving Ghana's sovereign credit rating, because the present rating situation of the country has been a major challenge to the operations of the banking system. So we invite the Ministry of Finance and the Bank of Ghana to actually establish a desk between them that will be responsible for engaging with the ratings agencies to update them about fiscal and monetary reforms, to update them about economic developments, to ensure that we influence.
It is so.
The National Economic Dialogue ended yesterday. We see that as state-owned enterprises, they are not in the best of shapes. In 2023, for example, Cocoaboard's apparent profitability was due to the suspension of debt service payments during the debt restructuring program. Petrus, you have to guide us through what the standing of our state-owned enterprises look like. 2021, 2022, 2023.
So sweet. Listen to that.
And I'm gobsmacked because I look at the figures and I think that if you are an entity and you are making losses, the CEO and the EXCO should not be taking all the benefits, right? But they still get the benefits. They have houseboy, they have garden girl, they have garden boy, they have watchman, they have, risk allowance, they have all those things.
You think they should be sacrificing because the state is bleeding?
But if you are managing a company.
I'm saying state, I didn't say company.
No, this is a state-owned enterprise. Yes. If you are managing an enterprise, that is all making profit.
Our general attitude, Abindia is not for us.
So let's chop.
So
Let's
the government can bleed, but it's just like, and that's something I always say. It's just like dropping waste in the gutter and expecting that nothing will happen.
It will have
But
consequences.
eventually, what happens is that you're going to get the gutters choked.
Yeah.
And then if you are not living in a good neighborhood, when it rains, it gets flooded. And you turn around and ask the government to come and assist you because you put dirt in the gutter,
Right.
or the gutters, they got choked and the place got flooded, and you're the same person in trouble.
Let's begin from the Electricity Company of Ghana, State-owned enterprise.
So
What does the story look like?
not so good. It looks like the debts or the negatives increased by the years or months, because in 2021 you had a negative of 1 million, 1 million plus. In 2022 you had 8 million. In
That's 7 million more.
And it dropped a little bit in 2023, which was almost 6 million actually, 5.9.
ECG.
That's Electricity Company of Ghana.
So
Yes.
all the plenty talk that we were running at a loss,
Yeah.
but they collect our bills every day. Crosby, don't you pay your ECG bill?
What I'm trying to look for is 2021 is immediately after COVID.
Yes. So you are looking for Russia and Ukraine.
I'm looking for a reason why 2021 is like that and 2022 jumped that high. I'm trying to find why. Is it?
The Russians killed more Ukrainians in 2022. That's why. Because this is unthinkable.
When we're enjoying free electricity and the period where we're looking at this negative 8
In
million.
2022, there was no free electricity,
Yeah.
by the way. And there's nothing like free electricity because we paid for it.
Later we came to-
Beatrice, you paid for it, right?
we paid for
Of
it.
course.
Subsequently.
Of course.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to find a reason why it is
8
this
million
much.
is not a joke. 8 million,
You cannot say
68,000.
the 8 million is coming from illegal connections alone.
No,
You
no,
cannot
no,
do
no,
that.
no.
Or maybe other entities were not paying their bills as expected. You know, there was a period that ECG, they were chasing, entities, ministries that's Charlie, you owe us, come and pay our money and all of that. Maybe that adds up to the 8 million, but there's a lot of concern here.
But again, what I see is the huge numbers of individuals or households which have connected to electricity
Right.
illegally.
Right.
And I can tell you that there was a day I picked an Uber going home. And I think there was light out along the way, so I was hoping that it would not extend to my home because I
Right,
was really
right,
tired and just wanted
right.
to go home and relax. And the driver, I think I asked the question, I don't remember exactly which question I asked, but I asked him and he was like, "Madam, are you serious? Pay electricity bills for what?" And I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "I'm not paying electricity bills. I will never pay in my entire life." And I said, "So how are you living? Solar?" He said, "I have connected illegally."
Hey,
Yes, I have connected illegally. I'm in a rented apartment. I am building my own house, and my own house too, I am connecting illegally. I will
Really?
I am telling you, I was shocked.
and she feels comfortable about
I
it.
was shocked.
Oh.
He said that there is no way the high class of individuals in the country are enjoying, and he should be suffering, and at the end of the day go and pay electricity bills. I mean, that is the kind of mentality.
That's criminal.
Yes, that's the kind of mentality we have.
Hey.
I mean, and he was very bold about it,
Wow.
and even offended that somebody would question why he would do that.
Let's go to Ghana Great Company, Greatco. They write press releases to us. What does it look like, Beatrice?
Yes, Ghana Great Company.
Beatrice, sorry.
So they made some gains in 2021, and perhaps that may negate the arguments Crosby was trying to raise with why ECG lost that much in 2020.
A few moments
Exact-
later, in 2022.
So in 2022, then they lost 93 million, and then increased that loss to 86.
Charlie. Greatco. VRE. What does the story look like, Beatrice?
VRA, 112 million. There's a point something on it.
0.76.
0.76, exactly. That was a gain. But the loss kind of wiped out the gain which was made in 2021, because the loss in 2022 was 277. That's over 100% loss as compared to the gain they made in 2021.
277
Yes.
million. 0.18.
As if that was not bad enough, in 2023 it was 380.82 negative.
We wouldn't have known this if the economic dialogue had not happened.
Yeah.
Then now you have Ghana Railway Company.
Ghana Railway Company Limited. When was the last time you picked a train, by the way?
I don't know. I was waiting for the Sky train. It never came, so I'll use the place like that.
I missed that experience, and I think we should bring it
Yeah,
back.
I mean, my dad used to. I remember back in the day, my dad would take us very early in the morning to the Accra Railway by UTC, Cantonment. We'll go and pick a train. We'll go to Nsawam, right?
Yeah.
And then we'll go through Pakro and all those places and come back by midday, 1 p.m.
There are rail lines in Kumasi, right?
Yeah.
Because I think
Some of the trains run.
I was a kid. I don't remember at which age I was, but my dad took me to the Western region, and I remember it was very early. I don't know where we picked the train from, but I remember we stopped at Kumasi, and he got me some nice food at home, but I still remember that experience. I don't remember how old I was. Yes. And so, okay, let me bring you the details of the Ghana Railway Company Limited. So in 2021, it made gains of 298.81 million Ghana cedis. Unfortunately, in 2022, they had losses of 28.49. You can wrap it up.
Million.
Yes, million. Rounded off to be 29 million Ghana cedis. And then, fortunately, they were able to recover a little bit and lost 9.37. I mean, that's still in negatives, but if you're moving from 28 to 9, that's kind of an improvement, although still in the
Ghana
negative.
Cylinder Manufacturing Company Limited.
That was where Anita D'Souza was? And no, there was a lady there.
Charlie, this one is negative to negative to negative.
Yeah.
Charlie,
Is it not because perhaps people have been using the charcoal and the woods and
no.
depending
I don't use charcoal. You don't use charcoal. Cousin doesn't use. Abiam doesn't use. Kunzo doesn't use. Mamiya doesn't use. It's not charcoal business. It's just that the money was not coming.
Anyway, so let's go to Gihok.
No.
Okay.
Let's do cylinder manufacturing.
Cylinder manufacturing, okay, we haven't given the figures yet.
Yeah.
Minus 4.24 million Ghana cedis in 2021. Minus 0.63 million Ghana cedis in 2022. And that increased. I thought they were improving in 2022, but
a few moments later,
they went to 6.95 million Ghana cedis.
Gihok. I've been speaking about Gihok since 19 Kojoho. Our former president did not listen to me. Look at
Gihok Distilleries.
Yeah.
1.27 million Ghana cedi gain in 2021. Then minus 25 million 0.13 anyway in 2022. And that increased a little bit. Again, 25 million 0.63, still in negatives. But you see what I'm seeing.
The constant is 25 million.
Yeah. What I'm seeing in the trends, though, a lot of negatives. In fact, all these SOEs had negatives in 2022.
Look.
All of them.
CBG.
Per what we have.
Look, CBG, for example, a strong case was made for CBG. 9 banks were collapsed to form CBG, right?
Yeah.
We spent more than what we had budgeted for to form CBG.
Yeah.
What was CBG standing in 2021, 2022, 2023?
Consolidated Bank Ghana made gains in 2021, 72.26. So that could be attributed to perhaps the immediate effect of what had happened.
Of the reconsolidated banks.
Yes, but in 2022, it made it went into negatives. 1.505.
This one is billion.
Yeah, it
Million
looks
again.
like, yes.
1.5 billion.
And then in 2023, 542 million?
Yeah. That's how much we lost.
0.96.
So, Johnny, the thing is that if we are trying to bring this down for everybody to relate with, it means that a lot of these companies, their staff had salary arrears that were owed them. So for the entire period, I was reading a few stories about Ghana Railway Company, cylinder manufacturing, even Gihog Distilleries. Staff were complaining that salaries had not been paid for months, 2 months, 3 months, some even 4 months, to the extent that their social security benefits were also not being paid because the company did not have money. But throughout all of these cases, the managers of the company, the directors of the board and all of that, for them,
They were chopping
collecting
their own
monies.
things.
And then the people who were, if you like, doing the actual work, their salaries were delayed, social security benefits were not paid. Some even demonstrated. Gihog staff.
Yeah,
they
I remember
demonstrated
Gihog demonstrated,
2023,
yes. They
railway
brought Kaneshi
company-
police people to come and intimidate them, but they didn't back.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Railway company to their staff demonstrating over 4-month salary arrears. In fact, by 2023, their SNIT had not been paid since August 2022.
You are talking about 2023.
Yes.
I have documents to prove that Gihog, they had defaulted since 2021.
So still, some
SNIT wrote to them, GRA wrote to them. In fact, as of 2022, they were owing over 230 million cedis of
Nice.
tax to GRA.
Right.
SNIT.
No, Gihog. And you know, Gihog had been one of our top companies in terms of the Ghana Club 100 and all of that. They used to win the top prize. So they have become Banku.
When the new MD came, went there for a few stories, and he was telling us that
Jones Apple.
yes, he was telling us that at the moment that we were there, there was a woman from one of the African countries. She had come for, I think, 1,000 bottles or packs of one of those. She said they don't have
I said Gihog.
1,000. They don't have.
Gihog, they used to produce 3,000 cartons per day. It got to a time where in a whole week, they couldn't even produce 2,000 cartons.
What happened? Sales went down
Because
or just...
Kofi Juma happened to them. The president's-in-law.
Staff numbers were increasing.
Yes. I've showed all those
Oh,
documents here.
the one who threatened anyone who took part in the
And
protest.
the people went for the demonstration anyway. He couldn't do football. Plenty talk. Anyway. Etel Tigo. They said we bought it, right?
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Did we buy it? Esla said
remember
we
there
bought
was a
it.
measure.
Esla also Kufo said we bought it.
There was a measure.
No, she said we bought it for 1 Ghana cedi. How much did they make in 2022, 2021, 2023?
Do you remember when that took place? Was it 2021 that it took place?
We have bought it.
So they had they had gains of 39.13 million Ghana cedis,
And the next few moments later in 2022,
and they just lost 434.60 out of the 400 million out of the 439 they made earlier the year
so
before.
it's left with 5 million.
And unfortunately, they lost again in 2023.
so the 5 million
actually,
went
almost
away.
600 million.
5 million also went away, combined into 6 million. Hey, Cocoa Board. Cocoa Board story is a sad one.
Ooh, that's in billions, actually.
Yeah, 2 billion. 2.4 billion.
2.437.89 billion loss in 2021. 3. Actually, we can round it up to be 4 because it's 3.835.39 billion.
I'm
cedis.
buying Edu. Good morning to you.
And then,
Alright.
they actually made gains in 2023. But we've heard the argument that they made those gains because they didn't
suspended.
pay. Yes.
In
Those staff.
2023, Cocoa Board's apparent profitability was due to the suspension of debt service payments
Yes.
during debt restructuring.
Yeah.
Hey, Randy Abbey has work to do. Honorable Joseph Boahin Edu, good morning to you. Let me not give you BP. Let's call our guest now. If you look at the figures, look, my own ADB.
The Cocoa Board thing, it goes even beyond 2021. It's a 6-year loss-making streak.
Hey,
Yeah, that's true. I think there were details that came up.
2020, 2019, 2018,
So when we were telling the farmers that you are in good hands.
No, but we had the World Bank giving us updates on the situation at Cocoa Board.
But the World Bank, they give you money, they will give you funds. Were they not the same people praising Cocoa Board and the rest? They knew what was happening. Look, my own ADB.
Oh, that's your bank, actually.
Yeah,
you bank with them.
Yeah, my father forced me to bank with them. I'm still stuck with them.
2021, they made gains 81.60 million. That's not really that huge for a bank. And then the loss was huge.
2022,
371.28 million Ghana cedis. Oh, and it worsened further because in 2023, it was 402.75.
That's why they've been sending me 7 cedis dividend. They say, oh, we have debited the account with 7 cedis. Hey, ADB, Jonathan, Simon, these people.
I say that is the domestic debt exchange. The one that
even the abattoir crowd, they owe.
Mayanka
crowd, they can owe. Shine your eye, my guys.
And my homie Shanti. Say I'm with our boss.
Jima is joining us on the phone line. Let's try and understand what happened at the National Economic Dialogue program. Julius, good morning. Thank you for your time.
Good morning, Johnny, and thanks for having me.
Good to have you. Now, what were your takeaways from the National Economic Dialogue?
I think so far so good. As we indicated earlier on, it's a step in the right direction. And for now, we've been able to get a picture or the true meaning of the reset agenda. Looking at the report that the finance minister presented, at least if you go through the report, we are all clear about the direction of the country in terms of economic policy and then fiscal policies. And Johnny, like I always say, they are the things that we've been seeing daily. I was listening to you earlier when you were even discussing some of them.
Right.
And I believe that that is why we need some of these forum conferences in this nature, bringing experts, the business community, individuals, ordinary people, common Ghanaians, everybody to come on board so that we can all share our ideas, join together, and build a very robust economy that we all want to see. At the end of the day, we want to be seeing that Ghanaians are saving more, making more of investment decisions. We are becoming, and that is why.
Hello?
I think that before we go into the report, so far so good. We believe that we can have it more often, especially yearly. It wouldn't be one-off event that we have to assemble people to come and discuss the economy. One thing that President Mahama is doing is that just trying to move the discussions on the economy to the people. You don't understand the economy than the people who are practicing it on a daily basis. And Johnny, you know, if you go to Abu Sokan, they will tell you all the issues with the economy. So I believe that a forum like this will really, really help us come out from our shells, speak about the future of the economy and how best we can all address the difficulties that is going around.
We look at the standing of our state-owned enterprises, and it's literally a sorry sight. You know, we're spending money to keep these companies afloat, and we clearly can see that we are not making anything out of it really in totality. You know, save a few who are doing well on their own. Should we be looking at public participation, or should we be looking at trading them off completely so that they go off our books, then we can see what we're using our money for?
Johnny, is yes and it is no. it's so unfortunate that most of our state institutions are reporting losses. These things, if you even go back to the IMF report, some of these reports have been captured. The finance minister have come to give, some form of clarity to really what is happening to us, trying to know our financial position as a country. The reason why these state-owned enterprises were kind of put in place by Osagyefo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah was to facilitate or kind of complement central government activities so that we'll have state institutions that will go into the market and trade and be making more profit. If the state institutions are profitable, what it means is that government can go and pick their profits and then add up to our domestic revenue and then, continue with our developmental project that we want to have. We don't want to have a situation where if our state institutions are privatized, fully privatized, it means that certain decisions we cannot control. So in as much as we want them to be efficient, more profitable, liquid enough, solvent enough, we want government to be having the majority stake in all these state institutions. It's just a matter of trying to balance the management approach and how these state institutions should be really governed, like corporate governance. And then charging them more, there should be more supervision on the activities that they do, less of the politicking, and then we ensure that these state institutions, as much as they are government institutions, they are there to make profit, just as the private companies are also making profit. We want to have a competition between state-owned institutions and then the private sector so that it will bring about check and balance on the factories and then industries that we have. And as much as we want to promote private sector business or initiative as well, we want to have a very formidable, competitive state-owned institution so that they can contribute to solving our problems for us.
You look at what our problem is, and you can clearly see the underlying factors. Manufacturing is missing. Are we able to, as a country, because we've been talking about it, but really not much has been done about it. Do you see us moving towards manufacturing, or is it just another talk shop?
I think we are moving into manufacturing. President Mahama have said emphatically that we'll have to focus on the productivity sectors of our economy. Finance Minister have reiterated the same point. In fact, if you look at the third chapter of the NDC manifesto, they are talking about Ghana First, which is Ghana for industrialization, revitalization, support, and transformation. So much focus will be given to manufacturing, the production sector, industry in itself, because that has been one of the things that we have lacked over the years. And in doing that, we can use that to also address things that we import. So we are looking at import substitution. The production sector will focus on things that we can produce locally so that we consume our own production. We don't want to have a situation whereby we'll be putting so much pressure on our currency or even the dollar. So I think that looking at the trajectory from the perspective that President Mahama has shared, and then the finance minister is also reiterating, with much support from all of us, we can really focus on the production sector or the productive sector. And I think that is the main remedy for our economy. And I believe that the president is really aware of that. So we are going there.
Now, in terms of the key stakeholders within the ecosystem, the economic ecosystem, people seem to have laid back a bit because, they are pushing their efforts, but the dividends that they're looking for are not coming forward. What kind of energy should they be having now after this economic dialogue series so that we can have a proper forward march?
Fantastic. I think that now all that, finance minister, the president is trying to do is to instill back confidence into the space, to the markets, to the financial sector. For investor, all that the investor is looking for is their dividend. I put money in your country, at the end of the day, I should be able to make my money back. And then even making the money back, they have to be looking at how they can repatriate the money out of the country. And that's what the problem is, which is a capital flight. So now that we've been told a story about the economy, we've been told our position. I mean, it cleared the doubt. Like I said, the dialogue have come to give clarity to the reset agenda, what it means by resetting. The finance minister indicated in his report to address to the dialogue that if you look at our growth pattern, it has really been driven by the oil sector, the mining sector, and debt accumulation. So we cannot continue on this line again, and that is why we are all trying to come out of the problem that we don't want to borrow any longer. We have to focus on domestic revenue mobilization. And that is where investors can get their confidence, and then now they will begin to bring back their money. At least telling the story, letting them know what is really wrong with us as a country in terms of our finances, will also give them an information and data for them to work with so that they can also strategize. And once we communicate the confidence back into the economy, investors will also have a change of mind and bringing down their dollars, and then any investment that they hold and bring it back to the country. We want to be encouraging more investment and potential investors into the country. We want to be encouraging more public-private partnerships so that the monies will be built in the country. The buffers that we are looking for will be sustained in the country. Our reserves will be up to date. And that is simple economic governance that we are looking at. So all that we can say to our investors is that we will continue to give them the needed assurance that they need to be able to sustain their investment.
Julius Jima, thank you very much. He's an economist and tax policy analyst joining us here on Sunrise on 3FM 92.7 to share his nuggets of wisdom. Julius, we're grateful.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. It's 5 minutes to the top of the hour, 9. We're going all the way to 10. Day before Ghana's Independence Day. 68 years down the line. I pick here and I pick here. I don't know. You tell me.
The best in the morning.
Bringing some accents from that engagement. The governor of the Bank of Ghana, Mr. Siama, he spoke at the dialogue. Listen to him, please.
Each time we send those reports to Parliament, we are happy to engage in a town hall with the private sector.
Wow.
We will be there, all of us will be there, members of the Monetary Policy Committee, we will be there, and we are happy to take questions from the private sector.
Okay.
But in doing all this, let me emphasize again the need
to coordinate affairs with the fiscal authorities.
Correct.
One thing that came, and I believe our rapporteur mentioned it, is that currently, yes, T-bill rates are coming down, and it is good to see that. However, there is an emerging risk that if we are not careful, we will see pressure on the CD going up as a result. And so again, if you look at our Bank of Ghana bills, you would see that the rate, has had to go up. That's the way the managing the macroeconomy works, and therefore there has to be a balance. So again, that underscores why we need that kind of coordination with the fiscal authorities, and we'll be doing that. I'll be speaking with the Minister of Finance regularly, and we will try to achieve that balance going forward. We'll be transparent. But let me end with just one more point on the area of financial sector stability. We have the financial sector strengthening strategy, going on under the fund program, and we are going to continue with that. However, an elephant in the room has to do with the high levels of NPLs, what we call non-performing loans. To give you the seriousness of that, we have local banks and we have foreign banks. There's a local bank whose NPL is about 81%. What it means is that every 100 Ghana cedis they lend, they are not able to collect 81 cedis back. Another local bank has about 62%. Now, the highest for the foreign banks is about 21%, I guess. So these numbers tell you that we need to address the NPL issue. You cannot blame the banks entirely, because a lot of it has to do with the domestic debt exchange, which was as a result of, not as a result of, anything that the banks did. But it's a problem we have to contend with. Because remember, that also explains why lending rates are high.
Okay.
It is not pleasant to us to see the private sector borrow at such very high levels. And so going forward, we have to find out ways to reduce the high non-performing loans ratios across banks.
Okay.
And for me, I'm particularly interested in the local banks, especially the government-owned banks. We'll be sitting down with them. We'll be sitting down with the industry association of banks. We started those conversations already. And we believe that if we are able to lower the NPL ratios of banks, if we are able to stabilize the fiscal side of things, we should see lending rates trending down, quickly. We are resolved to achieve that. But as I said, we'll be transparent.
Wonderful.
If we have to take the difficult decisions, we want the public to understand why we have to take those difficult decisions.
Boys on 3FM, the best in the morning.
The song back. Let's speak to Professor John Gachi. He's a chartered economist, senior lecturer at the UCC. He also is has some stint of law and etc. He's a very big man. Prof, good morning. Thank you for your time.
Good morning.
The Economic Dialogue series has ended. You spoke to us before it. You told us what was ahead of you. First of all, let me find out from you. Are you satisfied with the way things went, the conversations, etc.?
Very satisfied.
Now, tell me why.
The problems of the countries are always here with us. What we have not been able to do is to confront the problems and provide solutions and strategies to deal with them.
Right.
So we have the opportunity to discuss those things. We have the opportunity to provide solutions to some of these debilitating issues. Now, what is left? How do they implement it? Is there commitment? the finance minister has shown commitment that some of the issues will go into the budget. The one in charge of the National Development Planning Commission said that the rest will be calibrated into medium to long term to guide the agenda of the president. So therefore, I believe that we have done our work, and it is appreciated by all.
Beyond the professionals who were there, yourself, Dr. Ishmael Yamsing, and the many other professionals that we saw, we didn't see the folks on the other side of the aisle, the minority now, the MPP, at the place. So somebody says the government was talking to itself and advising itself. How does that culminate into progress for the country when both sides are not at the table to discuss what affects all of us?
Well, I think the opportunity is provided.
Sunrise on
They
3FM.
They decided not to take up the opportunity, and nobody can fault them. They have done their analysis. Perhaps they think that not participating is also equal to contributing to nation building. So one cannot fault them. But what is critical is that this is the national dialogue. Did we achieve an inclusive dialogue? The answer is yes. Other political parties were there, but other parliamentarians were there, the private sector, the think tanks were there, policy framers were there, academia was there, so practitioners were there. So senior citizens were there. So I think we have achieved the best of inclusiveness, and that is what we should work with.
Prof, now you have told us what the problems are, and some of the figures that you put out there, not just you, but your committee that you worked with, are quite heart-wrenching. I look at my own ADB and what losses they are making. I look at Cocoa Board, I look at Graphic Communications Group Limited, I look at Georg, I look at ECG, and is that a real picture? Or this is, somebody says it's an exaggeration, but is that the real picture?
Well, that is the real picture, but the truth of the matter is that every number has a narrative behind it. So if you look at the non-performing loan that the governor talked about,
right,
the non-performing loan is occasioned largely by the DDEP. Part of the non-performing loan are occasioned by government contracts. So we shouldn't just look at the number and say that, hey, we are up in the arm against ADB. No, we should go behind the number and see what has happened. Is it just by poor management? I don't think so. So we should now know the extent of damage caused by DDEP on the books of a bank.
Right.
Your call has been put on hold. Please wait.
Prof,
your call has been put on hold.
Prof, don't put us on hold. We beg you. Hello, Prof. Hey, Asembeni. Beatrice, please call Prof back. Let's put us on hold. Why are you laughing? Hey, Beatrice.
Boom, boom. Boom, boom. Boom, boom, forever. On 3FM, the best in the morning.
Prof, welcome back.
Thank you.
Suddenly you put us on hold. So we're alarmed in the studio, but we are fine. So you were talking about going beyond or behind the numbers to find out what exactly happened and not to make pronouncements based on the numbers that we see. But if
those are the numbers they have in their books.
Right.
But the point I'm saying is that that does not bring ADB for slaughter. We need to go behind the numbers and see what occasioned that high level of non-performing loan. And that is how we will be able to resolve the problem.
Right.
And you will know that some of the things are caused by government. And if government is ready to resolve its part, then we are halfway through the problem. So this is this situation where government creates a problem and then turn around and behave as if it didn't cause that problem.
Right.
Must be condemned seriously. You know, the banking sector cleanup come to the DPEP was contributed hugely by government.
Right.
But government stand outside behaving as though there is a problem somewhere, it didn't contribute to it, and it's coming to resolve it.
Sunrise
that is problematic.
Indeed. Because I'm looking at the table, the SOEs and JVCs show mounting operational and financials. I'm looking at CBG because you mentioned the banking sector collapse. In 2021, there was a gain of 72.26 million. And then in 2022, 1.5 billion and excess of that. And then in 2023, 542 million.96, was lost. If indeed we shut down banks because we thought that they were not operating optimally and there were issues around it, the CBG that we invested so much, because we started from 9 million and then we went beyond 22 or so million. If all that money was invested and still the CBG is not making the profits that we're looking forward to, then did we go or did we come, as they say on the streets, Prof?
Yes, so that is why I was saying what was happening all this quarter, the interference, all those things accounted for some of these things. Let us see what strategies are now going to be put in place to resolve them. And in resolving them, we need to ensure that the proper people are put in the places, the governance is high, and then the interference reduced drastically. It is only then that we can salvage the SOEs. Without that, we can't salvage the SOEs. The next point is that then we can list some of them and allow the listing rules to govern the way they operate.
Prof, I'm grateful for your time. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And Ghana thanks you for the work that you have done. We're grateful. That's Professor John Gachi there. And Beatrice, we should go behind the numbers.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think it's everybody's hope that this forum or dialogue would really unveil the root cause of our problems, not just the everyday talk and assumptions that the problem is coming from here or there. And after they've been able to uncover these root causes, there should be a way of dealing with them, because at the end of the day,
finding solutions.
Exactly. At the end of the day, you can only solve a problem you know. If you don't know that this problem is there, how are you going to even solve it in the first place? So
don't hurry in life. If February didn't March, April, May. Good morning to you.